We spoke to SABC spokesperson Kaizer Kganyago on the latest developments here at the public broadcaster.
It means a lot in the sense that we need to make sure that governance is restored in the organization. And as people might know now, we have got an interim board that came in to do exactly that, and their term of office is ending at the end of September. Therefore, for these interviews to start, it assures us that by the time the interim board's tenure comes to an end, there will be a new board that will take this organization forward, and we really welcome that.
Of course, a lot of the failings in the media have been laid at the foot of the previous boards here at the SABC. The interim board that you talked about, they've restored calm somewhat here at the organization, haven't they?
No, they definitely have, because they really understood the mandate that they had. Because people will remember that the interim board was put in place after the ad hoc committee, and therefore they had specific things that they had to do. And if people were to be reminded that we had about 33 recommendations, and their challenge was to deal with the 24 of those 33, so that they're able to do that. And that is what they came here to do, and they're achieving that in a way, because you can hear from their applauses, whether in Parliament or everywhere else in the community.
You can also hear from the staff and staff morale within the SABC seems to be on a right, positive direction.
No, definitely, because the issue that they came up with is to say, let us not focus on many other things. Let us focus on the things that are problematic. And key among them is the issue of governance, because they believed that when we deal with governance, therefore the other things will fall into place. And that, I think, has brought confidence to the staff of the organization to say, we are being taken seriously.
You talk about governance, of course. That's the one challenge that the SABC faced for quite a long time. How did the SABC get to that place where governance was a challenge here?
I think it's not only the SABC that finds itself in a situation like that, because governance is everything. Because when you talk of governance, we are talking about adhering to the rules and regulations, the acts of parliament that are there. And sometimes here and there we find people moving away from those acts, because SABC, not only SABC, but broadcasting is a much regulated kind of industry. Yeah. Therefore, if you do anything that is not within the regulations, people can take you to task. And we have seen a lot of people, not only staff, but we've seen even external organizations taking us on and in relation to issues of governance. But it is those issues that fall within the cracks. And we ended up with a situation at the end where we looked, things were the way they were. And I think it was necessary for Parliament to intervene the way they did, so that they come up with an ad hoc committee to get to the bottom of it. But obviously, these are the things that will continue, as you said in your intro, that some of the things are now handed over to the SIU, but also some of the things are handed over to our forensic people within the organization to look at, so that we get to the bottom of it. The principle is, if you don't get to the bottom of it, some of the things might repeat themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the threat. Of course, governance means implementing policy. And of course, the SABC is going on a review of editorial policies throughout the organizations, been on road shows for the last couple of months, really. Tell us about the new editorial change processes and how that's going to impact on governance going forward.
I think people need to understand that, again, as we are talking about governance, the law says that we must review our policies every 5 years. And we have not reviewed our policies for the past 13 years. Yeah. And that in itself says there's something wrong. We tried to do that in 2014, but everybody knows that it was challenged, and then the matter was, the reviews were scrapped. But what we have been doing, we've gone to all the provinces. We're doing the last province this week, which is Gauteng, and we have engaged the people out there, and we are saying to the public, you still have time to deal with these matters by writing to us and contribute. And after that, we will send the draft back to the people to look at, and then that will be our Bible for me and you for the next 5 years.
In conclusion, the bailout that everyone's talking about, talk to us about the state of the bailout and how that process is going forward.
People are always talking about the bailout, but it is not a bailout. We are requesting for a government guarantee where we are going to go out to the market, go to the banks and ask for money. And that process is in its final stages. It is with the Treasury. We are just waiting an outcome from the Treasury. We hope it will come quicker because at the moment we really need the money so that we are able to do the things that we're supposed to do. But we are assured by Treasury and the Ministry of Communication that very, very soon the outcome will come so that we can go to the market and look for the money.
In court, the state said